Hi, this is Majana. If you are enjoying fun astrology, would you please go on iTunes and give Thomas a 5-star review and just jot down a couple of sentences in a review? That really helps get the word out. Thanks.
Well, how'd you do? I have a Capricorn girlfriend, partner. She is as earthy Cap as you can get. And she's been like an emotional fish flopping on the deck of a boat. Can you picture that? Her emotions are just crazy. And she, as we've been talking about it, has said that a lot of this is July. And I'm like, well, yeah. You know, maybe we could just reframe July anyway in terms of the emotions that Cancer brings. But this eclipse has been there for a lot of us. So just kind of rank, how was your day? And today is going to be a shorter version, but kind of a post-eclipse prescription pad for the rest of the week. I thought maybe instead of a bunch of astrological stuff, maybe we would just take a breath. And really, honestly, you know, I think we all need a collective round of applause. Because we've been making it through some really tough energy. This is the majors. This is not Little League, all right? I feel sorry for the people who are not awake and are not conscious. But let's just go over a couple of things, and then I'm going to give you a little survival tip. The moon has moved into Aquarius. Whew, some air. It can breathe. If you know anything about the planets, Saturn, the dark planet, the icy black planet that is at the edge of the universe, the Hellenistic, the ancient astrologers before telescopes could only see 7 bodies in the sky that they attributed to astrology: the sun, the moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and good old Saturn. Saturn was the last thing they saw before dark space. And by the way, if you check out the great blog, Earth and Sky News, if you're at all interested in this, that should be on your daily email list. Earth and Sky News talking about Saturn's visibility right now. You can see the rings, so be sure to check that out if you are not in a place where light pollution is a factor. Great for you if light pollution is a factor. Get in, fill up the car, mama. We're going for a drive. Get yourself out of town. Go see it. And when you do, don't think of those beautiful gaseous rings. Think of that dark, dingy, dank side of Saturn. Now, I've got a different relationship with Saturn that I think we can somewhat achieve, but it is that aspect of our life. It represents that energy that is part of all of us. It's part of our design. It's part of what's called the Earth School, right? And then you've crossed over the neighborhood of the South Node. That's not a body itself. That's actually a point in the sky that we won't talk about here. You can Google it. But that's all about transformation. It's about moving from what you came into this life to release. And the North Node sitting on the other side over in Cancer is where you're moving to. So you're releasing some of that grip on things. If you're Capricorn, if your South Node is in Capricorn, but that's where the energy is. That's where the South Node energy is right now. So you're releasing that tightness, that control, that, oh, I have to own this kind of approach. And you're moving over to the North Node in Cancer. The Paul McCartney Let It Be sign. Let it be. Let it move. Let it be free. It's all well. It's all good. I'm talking about my partner today because she isn't here. but she has a daughter who is Cancer, and just the most free-spirited, came in with the let it be attitude and just exemplifies it in a beautiful way. When I think I'm holding on to something too tight, I think of her daughter. Just let it go. And then, if you're the moon, and we're following the moon's track on its way to the eclipse, then you cross over the mafia dawn of transformation, Pluto. And before you can stop smelling his breath, you go into an eclipse. Ladies, it's like having a baby. To these, like I'm talking like I know what I'm talking about. Bleh. I don't like it when guys do that. So I retract that statement. I apologize, but you get the point. It's that expulsion. It's that the moon. How do you feel, ladies, after you've given birth most of the time? wiped out, emotionally ragged. You need time, you need space, and you don't have either. That's the way it is for the luminaries after an eclipse. They are wiped freaking out. So it's a good thing that the moon moved into some air where it can breathe and can get itself back together. And maybe you're feeling that way too. And that was kind of the tip, is what do you do on the backside of this thing? Because the energy will be there for basically the rest of the week. It would have been great if you could have caught it yesterday, but still catching it today is fine energetically. So full moons are all about releasing. If we follow the cycle of manifesting with the moon or the cycles of the moon, we release on the full, and just think of the way the moon is. It's big and bright, and it's getting smaller. So we release. It's like exhaling. We want to release things that we can give to the universe, ask for help if we need, but it's things that that are no longer serving us and can just move on from our life. And then on the new moon, we do the opposite. That's where we create. So this was not about creation anyway. And then you throw an eclipse on there, and this is, if anybody was saying, oh, you should create, do all this creating, no, this was not really the time for that. It's just not the cards, right? You're not playing the energy. You're not working with the energy that's there. But it is great for packing up all those things that don't serve you in your life, putting them on a great big sled, greasing the skids of that sled with butter and sending it on its way. Just like when that baby is born, it is finally out of your body. I mean, you cherish the moments that you nurture it, and when it comes time for it to come out, it is time. Be free. And what a relief in so many ways, is it not? In a healthy birth situation, it's time. It's the right time. What served you and your child is no longer needed, just like what served you in your life at one point may no longer be needed. Let it go. Now, that's where the analogy stops, of course, because you don't do that with your children, obviously. You welcome them into your life, and here we're kind of spinning it along. But what I wanted to capture was the release part, because now we could turn the analogy around. Unlike the baby that you just welcomed into the world, you draw it into your breast and you nurture it and you give it life, sustenance, nurturing, care, protection, training. But these things that we release from our life, too often we do that very thing. And what we're supposed to be doing is sending it out. It's like graduation time. Fast forward all those years. Okay, son or daughter, you've done well. You've earned your degree. Now it's time to go make your mark in the world. Go. It's the benefic mother bird who kicks her young out of her nest. That's the release we're talking about here. You release it. And you release it with namaste and with love. There was a time in my life when we served each other, and now that is no longer true. We need to split ways. I'm going this way, and I release you. Quit holding it to your breast and feeding it and nurturing it with your thoughts and your emotions and your feelings and your attitudes. There is more transformational, releasing, reforming energy in the universe right now to help you with this process than there has been in multiple lifetimes. If you're new to listening to this, it's based on that we have not had Saturn and Pluto together in Capricorn since the early 1500s. And you know how transformative that piece of history was. Well, it is here again. And those of us who are watching, waiting, eyes open, taking advantage of it, will have soul growth transformation like you only could have imagined would have taken place. Lifetimes of change can happen between now and early next year if you welcome it in. Whew, I didn't expect to go this long. Sorry to take that much out of your day. I tried not to, but I hope it helps. Enjoy your hump day.